Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gaming Hour podcast. We discuss all things gaming. I'm your host, Greg, aka Jersey's Finest 186, and with me, my two special guests today. You guys might know them on YouTube. Doc Dark 1985. What's up, man?
Oh, there's levels to this. Chill and chill. With
There's
you.
always, there's always levels to everything. And ISO Motion Gaming. What is up, man? Thank you for coming on today.
Hey, what's going on? I appreciate you having me. I'm just a casual gamer at its finest.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're all casual until we really get into a game, and that's where it's a wrap. But yeah, so
Y'all ain't casual. Y'all not allowed to say casual. We're 3080 and a 2080. Nah, I don't hear that.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of things going on in the gaming world, guys. Doc Dark always talks about Xbox, Stadia, PlayStation, ISO. I like his content. So today we're gonna be talking about a little bit about E3, PlayStation, Xbox, PS5 remaking The Last of Us again. I don't know, and maybe the Outriders situation with the servers and inventory and anything in between. So let's get into it. E3 is coming back in 2021. I feel that we still need an E3. Like and I said this in my video. I said I like to get into conversations like this. Either party chats or Discord and have a conversation, watch live, and discuss what's coming new. Now, I also said that it kind of sucks because there's always leaks coming out for everything nowadays. It wasn't like 6 years ago where we didn't really know anything. It was always a little bit of hint going on, like maybe a little trailer, maybe a little picture of something. Like, what the heck is this? What are they talking about? So now the wow factor to me is not there at E3. That's just something like, they're gonna there to present their new equipment or new software, whatever. So do you guys feel like E3 is still relevant, or do you think that the companies Sony, Xbox, Nintendo should just do their own presentations?
All right, so let me go first.
Okay.
All right, so this is how I feel, right? What you said is very true. There's so much information that already comes out that to get excited for E3 sometimes is difficult. But from my perspective, this is what kills me. Is every time one of these shows gets announced, even when people do their own little shows, right? When people do their own little shows, you almost set up your expectations too high, and then when you actually watch the show, you get disappointed, right? So it's almost like, okay, I'm not gonna say I don't want to E3. Let's go ahead and have one and let's watch it. Let's see who presents what. But I know for me, I'm gonna set my expectations low this time.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed way too many times with from Sony State of Play, from Microsoft's one was pretty good. With the last thing they had when he was talking about how you know games are going to be exclusive to Game Pass, but that's just me being Xbox, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited, but expectations are going to be leveled. I'm not going to overhype this thing. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
So I want to get your opinion on this because I know that you're a PC guy. So
So,
so
oh,
here
go
it
ahead.
is, right? So if just like Doc Dark said, these expectations are gonna be low. So I feel the same way. I feel E3 should be there, but nowadays with everything there, whatever is going on now, our expectations should be like right here. Instead of like all the way up here like last time, you know what I mean, like a few years back, now it should be like, okay, what are we doing here? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely not like really expecting much from E3. I've always wanted to attend it. I've always wanted to try to go, especially with COVID-19. I mean, now that's probably not going to happen for a while, and just
Yeah.
life in general. But I think the idea of it is really cool, and for those who can attend, I think that's something that's great to do. But for me, I never really went out of my way to watch like the live streams that they're doing for it. I always just go on YouTube and watch like, hey, what is the key elements that Xbox did? What is the key
Yeah.
elements that the
The
PlayStation
yeah.
did? Like, I if I'm not going, I'm not gonna care for all these little bits and pieces. Like, I want the main things. Like, hey, what is a big deal? What's happening? What do I need to know?
That's
You know
very
what we
true.
watch
Very
more
true.
is probably the reviews of it. Like that's probably what I'm gonna watch the most. I'm gonna see what when YouTubers go on and people make the reviews of it, of what the highlights were. That's probably what I'm gonna watch the most, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? That I agree there. I think that people do that, and I also agree that people like if you've seen a game that you were interested in for like a year or two, and it's finally going to be shown. I think that's why I watch it live. For that situation like Destiny, when it first dropped a couple years before that, I was watching it. I was watching the development of it, watching videos on it, and when it finally came out in 2014, I was watching that. Man, I was waiting for that hype even though Destiny kind of died out the last few years, but even like when it first came out, I was very excited, And again, it goes back to that, like, do we need the E3? Because they have their own presentations now. It's like if we keep watching E3, why are we watching E3? You know, I love the E3 because I feel like it's something new. It's some they always bring something new there, no matter what. But now, since it wasn't there last year, that they're gonna like, okay, Sony's not gonna attend, right? They're like, I don't know, frig that. I don't want to go there. Like, I'm just gonna be my little, put my big boy bands up and just go over there in the corner. Like, I don't understand why they just can't say, okay, we're gonna go there, but we're not gonna talk about everything, but we're gonna bring up some things. I think that they should go there. You know, for the gamers situation, I think that, you know, for us gamers to appreciate the situation, especially with all the scalpers taking all the damn consoles, but we're gonna get into that later. But I think that they should show face for us. You know, Nintendo does it all the time. The Nintendo shows up and they still have their own Nintendo Direct. Like, why can't other companies do that? Xbox is, we're gonna get into that in a little later, but what they're doing is really intriguing me to get a Series X and really, even besides the PC, to really get into the console and really see what's going on. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you 120%. E3 is for the gamers. It's for us because the companies don't need it. Because the companies know that if they have their own little direct thing or whatever, we're gonna watch it, right? But when
Yeah.
you have them all together, right, it's almost like that competition thing. Which and maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're afraid to have to compete. Maybe they're afraid to announce something, and then you got Nintendo and Sony announcing something that's way bigger that overshadows whatever Xbox was gonna announce. So maybe that's why. Maybe they're just afraid to all go there. But regardless, I think that the E3 event is more for us because the companies are going to be able to have their own little directs, their own little situations where they could control the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas at an E3, the crowd is there. They're either going to cheer, boo. You're going to get. That's another thing too. You don't know what the crowd's going to be. The crowd is going to be maybe Xbox, maybe Sony ponies, maybe PC master race. If you
Yeah.
have an all Sony event and you have a crowd there, it's going to be all mostly Sony people there, right? So they're not going to boo when you start charging, $70 for games and stuff like that. It's too early in the podcast for me to start talking trash about Sony. My bad.
No, it's hey, it's more welcome than you think, man. All right, so E3 2021 is coming back. I think, again, we still need it. I think as gamers, we can appreciate them coming back and finally giving us something. Even they said it's going to be more intuitive things. I don't know. I have to read the article again. I'll post the description box on YouTube, guys. You guys can check out the article. They're doing different things, and I'm happy that they're trying to bring it back. But again, I think Sony, every company needs to come back and show us appreciation. Like, we appreciate you guys. This is for you guys, not for us. Like you said, it's for yous. And I think that that's what they need to do. Going forward, there was a lot of things I want to talk about with PlayStation. They dropped a new update, and for some reason, all right, I'm not going to curse on the pod. I promise I wasn't going to curse. But why the heck did they just update the console to have USB external hard drives to work for a PS5 storage? I don't understand. And Mark Cerny, I made a video on this in November about, and I got a lot of negative feedback. But oh man, you're sending out misinformation. No, I did not. I don't kill the messenger. The messenger said we're gonna have that day one, and it was not there. This is all it's gonna come out in a future update. How many months? 5, 6, 7 months around there? And they're just adding that we can store the games on a hard drive, but we can't play. I don't understand it. It's just they can push the update. The firmware is there. The hardware is there for the I don't know. I'm just really ticked off because I spent $500 and it's fine. It's not a lot of money, but for some people it is. That we can't even get the internal external hard drive to work, or the external for the PS5 to work on the extra stuff, the 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte M.2 drives. Like, what are they thinking? You know what I mean? Here's a brand new crazy cool console, but you can't, you only have 667 gigs out of the gate. Warzone's 200 gigs. Warzone is 200, or I'm sorry, COD is to like 200 gigs. Warzone's like 190, 80. But I'm just saying, man, that's why I was so frustrated, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I went to PC in February. I got so tired, and we're gonna get into a situation where it's hit or miss, or it's preference, but where is the options for the frames and the resolution on these consoles? Seriously. Why can't we have
chill.
Hear me out. Where's the 1080p?
I hear you. I just didn't know you were gonna trigger me like this, bro.
Oh yeah, we're getting there, bro. You got 1080p, 1440, and 4K, maybe 8K later on, right? A couple years down the road, that's fine. We're not even there yet, so I'm not worried about 8K. I know it's gonna be there. It's gonna look great. But seriously, where's the options? Where is the options, man? You know what I mean? I got a gaming monitor, and I'm sure I can. Okay, so here's another situation I want to bring up. to everybody, and dark and ISO, right? Jay just added for some weird reason, right? You're gonna tell me with a 2.0 HDMI port and HDMI 2.0, we can't get, even on the TV, if you have the 120 or 160, 144 in a gaming monitor, that we can't get 120 frames with a 1080p 2.0 HDMI? Why? This is what I mean. You know what I mean? They just added the automatic 120 hertz, and I'm at a 2.0 with a gaming monitor. I have a, the display port, the 2.0s, the 1.4. I put it in the 2.0. It still has locked at 60 hertz. I'm like, I don't know, man.
It's Sunday, man. I didn't know you were gonna come in like this, bro. It's Sunday today, man.
We're ending the week that way, but we're bringing it this week that way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Listen. All right, so I'm gonna let you go first because I got so much to say. Go.
You went first last time, right? So I think the thing with PlayStation is that they're just slacking, right? That's my thing. They're just slacking. They promised something day one, and they're just slacking. They didn't do what they're supposed to do, and that's just what it is. And it sucks because everyone relies on updates. It's like, oh, we can just do an update. Oh, we can do an update. Like I said, no,
add it later.
Just provide it day one, like you said, and just do your job. You make games, do your job, right? And I think with the resolution and all that, like that's never going to be an option on consoles. It's never going to be an option. And it's funny because I was talking to Doc about this too. It's like, yeah, you play at 4K, but I wonder what type of settings on 4K you're playing at. Because you can play at 4K high, 4K medium, 4K low. There's different settings within that resolution. So honestly, like compared to PC, what is consoles actually playing at, right? Is it 4K medium? 4K is going to look nice, period. But I'm curious, like, what kind of actual like settings they're using within the game. Vice on PC.
Trying to say is a 1080p high will look better than a 4K low.
Facts. This is true.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like again, if you have a 1080p, you're not going to see the difference with 4K. But if you have a 4K, you could possibly see the difference. But on low settings, you're going to see that better resolution with 1080p high settings. Sorry, yeah. I did it yesterday in COD War and Outriders. I had the Ultra and even Gears 5 on Game Pass. I had insane, right? I don't know how well my setup is for that insane setting, but I stood still. I didn't move, but the textures were popping, beautiful, even on my 1080p. And I was like baffled. I was well overwhelmed. Like, holy crap, look at this game. And I'm looking at Outriders. It's not as beautiful, but it's still looking good. But like you said, I went to the PS5 and put on Outriders. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? What the hell?
Oh my God. Like, all right.
Go ahead.
We can take it to a sip of water because y'all got me so hyped. I'm not even gonna drink my water. Forget it. All right. So here's the thing, right? These companies don't respect gamers. That's what it comes down to, right? So it's foolish when you have fanboyism that defends these companies so much. So the first original question before you got me all hype was, why is this update coming up now where Sony can have this memory that now can be used? The same reason why you have games that come out that aren't done, because they don't care. They don't care. We go ahead and drop this money and we have consoles that aren't finished. Now, before anybody in the chat starts to call me Xbot and all this other stuff, Microsoft did the exact same thing. Before I purchased my Xbox Series X, nobody told me that I had to wait for tools. I didn't even know those tools. Nobody told me that the developers were working off of Xbox One dev kits instead of the new Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X dev kits. When I gave them my $500, I was expecting something that was ready to be used. This is the only industry where stuff like this happens. If I buy a phone and they tell me like, yo, here's your phone, but you're not going to be able to fully use it till a year from now. It's like, what? Then I'm not dropping that money on that phone. But when it comes to gaming, they keep disrespecting us like this because gamers, especially when you become a loyalist, you allow this. That's why you allow something like, yes, games should be $70. Says who? And you're okay to pay $70. Now we're at the point where it doesn't matter. It is what it is. They're going to come. This is what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
But The PS5 not having that storage just because it wasn't done, it wasn't ready, and they still released the product. The same way, I'm not talking just trash about PS5, same way as the Xbox Series X. If the tools weren't ready, then the tools weren't ready. Because now we're in a situation where stuff is looking real iffy whenever Digital Foundry wants to zoom in at 200%, and a PS5 with 10.2 teraflops or whatever it has is performing at better frame rates than something that has 12 teraflops or whatever the Xbox
Yeah.
Series X has. So don't even get me started on all this stuff, bro. They don't care about it. So when I see fanboys defending the company's money, like, well, Sony made more money than Xbox or stuff, it's like they don't care about you, man. Like, why are you tripping? Or they say make sure you support the developer. When a developer drops a full game where I don't have to worry about DLC, microtransactions, or patches, then I'll support them completely. Till then, don't miss me with that. I'm gonna try to get a bargain.
I agree with him 100%. Chat, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm going to read some comments here. We can get started. Harold says, didn't Bethesda had like a paid crowd? Demon says, here he goes again, hopping on the bandwagon. Harold goes, updates are still huge, man, for Warzone on PC. That's right. PS5 does have a resolution setting, but the question is, they don't have the low, medium, or high in between those resolution settings. That's what we're talking about. That's options we can use on these consoles. They're technically, I'm going to be real, they're technically PCs. Okay, if any way you look at them, they're technically PCs. Okay, console PCs, whatever you want to call them. They have the technology to add the options to 1080p, medium, high, or low. 4K, maybe lower, medium, high. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to implement that, but that's what we're talking about. We're not changing going to the 4K to the 1080p. We're talking about low, medium, high settings in between those resolutions. So,
right.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. So one of the things I say is when I bought my Xbox Series X, I fell for Xbox Series X. I felt for the trap of it's as powerful. I think they were comparing it to a 2080, right? It's as powerful as a 2080 Ti. It's as powerful as a 2080 Ti, right? So I'm like, okay, so I know what my 1660 Ti gaming laptop can do, where I can go ahead and adjust settings and I can play at whatever frame rate I want, right? Just drop settings here and there, and I have an amazing experience. And games look incredible, right? Not only that, but old games. So I thought that the Xbox Series X was going to work the same way because they're pretty much basically, like you said, computers. However, they're not. So the fact that something like Crisis 2 on the Xbox Series X, unless they do a FPS boost, and even then it's kept at 60, but my 1660 Ti, which is supposedly less powerful than the Xbox Series X, can run Crisis 2 on high settings and get well above 60 frames, to me makes no sense. I stopped making that comparison because a few months ago when I was doing that, people were destroying me. They're like, you can't compare console to PC, can't compare console to PC. So I stopped doing that. But then when they talk about the Xbox Series S only needing to drop resolution to get those frames, they want to compare it to what PCs do. So you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? It's either a PC or a console. So what is it, right? So to me, I look at these things like I set my expectations the same way we spoke about E3. This thing is a console. I'm not comparing it to a PC. Sometimes I wish I would have done what you gentlemen did and gotten a PC with a 2070 or 2080 or 3070 like you got.
Yep.
Because then I know I'm playing at the best possible fidelity. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yep.
I agree with you 100% because the reason why I say PC for console, and this goes for anybody out there in the chat or anybody, because they have the technology and specs wise hardware that's basically a PC. Like 4 years ago, is that better than PC 4 years ago? You bet your butt it was. So now it's like, okay, so they have the 16 gig RAM GDDR6. They got the RDNA2 architecture. I think Xbox has the real RDNA2. For some reason, Sony went kind of bootlegged on that one. I don't know why. Like you said, they don't care. They just want to act like they're, they said it's on par with a 2070 Super or 2080 Super or something like that. So I'm like, okay, if it's on par, because my 3070 is on par with the 2080 Ti. It's not as powerful, like, it's like right there, man. It's right here. It's right there. It's catching up to it. So, what is Sony thinking of, man? It's like, I can't believe I bought a console, and I was really happy about it. The funny thing, I'm gonna tell everybody how I got this. All right, everybody, some people here in the chat know how I got this. Right, my lady was on the bed. She was just watching TV. Right, this is funny. And I was kind of upset because it was like a day after where the supposedly pre-orders were going live. And I'm like, oh, man, that's fucked up, man. Like, how? I thought it was tomorrow. And then I'm like, oh, man, whatever. And then the next day, I'm staying up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, damn, this is sold out, man. I was like, I'm all bummed out. And the next day, I'm like, all day, I'm like, oh, man. 9 p.m. at night. She was scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
She found a coupon saying that Walmart's going to be restocked at 9 p.m. I'm like, yeah, get out of here, coupon. What the fuck? So I said, you know what? Why not check it out? And
And nothing to lose.
I got it. I got 2 of them.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Damn.
Like a coupon on Facebook for Walmart. I'm like,
That's
wow.
crazy.
But so we jumped on it. I got it. I got one for me and my brother. And we got it on launch. And I sent it to him via mail, UPS, and he got it like a day and a half later. So, but again, man, we're spending all this money on these consoles and they're not ready. Like, I watch Richard Review Tech. I watch a lot of other YouTubers, and he said, and I totally agree with him, that they weren't ready. They should have waited another year. They should have delayed it, which I'm glad. Okay, like, we all love new tech. We all love to have new things, right? It's cool to have a new piece of gear, PC. It's all cool. But if you're not ready, you're not ready, man. It's cool. We can wait, man. You can say, guys, it's delayed because of COVID. We got to get these things in there. We got to implement all these features in there. Okay, we'll wait, bro. We're cool. We'll chill back over here while you guys do your business. I think they should have waited, you know?
I agree. I actually made a video about that too because I was like, yeah, they should have waited. There's like no games. I have a
None.
PS5. I played Demon Souls like a little bit. Like I'm about to give it to my boy because I know he wants the game. I don't. It's just that type of game that I'm not really into. And then same thing with the Xbox. As much as I love my Series S, I wouldn't have minded if it was delayed. Where developers were caught up with the game. Of course, COVID-19 would have been a perfect excuse for it. You know, they didn't even have to use anything else. They could have just lied and be like, oh yeah, COVID-19, we gotta wait. And the fact of how hard it is to get like the PlayStation, it is harder for Xbox, but I think it's worse on the Sony side. So they could have easily delayed it, but they didn't want to because they just wanted money. They were slacking. That's how I see it.
The only thing with that, which I think is kind of funny for all of us to say, is like they should have waited, is that we all have next gen consoles, right? So it's easy for us to sit here and be like, nah, we could have waited, we could have waited. Because here's the thing, right? Let's say, I'm just being honest, if Microsoft was like, you know what, Doc, send me your Xbox Series X. We're gonna go ahead, put the tools in it, and then you'll get it back, right? Instead of getting a update, I'd be like, nah, can you just update it for me? I'll wait. I'll keep it here. You know what I'm saying? So like, now that I got it, I don't want to get rid of it.
That's true. That's very true.
So it's kind of weird. Like when we say like, we don't want. Same thing with Rich from Review Tech. Like I saw his thing. He got all 3 of them, right? He
Yeah.
got everything. He even got an S. So for us to say like, it's not necessary or they weren't ready, it's true. But now that we got them, and you see, that's where you really got to look at yourself and see what you got it for, right? So for instance, when ISO made that video about these things not being ready, I remember I called them up and I was like, bro, you got a 2080, right? You got 2080 Super ISO?
Yep, 2080 Super.
2080 Super. And I was like, and what are you playing with it? He's playing old games. So you got something that's super powerful, right? And you're playing, like old games. So there was no need for him to get that 2080. Now, if I asked you, what are you using that 3070 for? If you say Warzone, that's overkill.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing ray tracing on 120 frames, which I don't even know if I could do that. But so we like the new tech, like you said. So, but we're the ones that are abused. We're the ones that take the abuse. And the problem with me with gaming is that we get abused so much, it's ridiculous. Like updates, games not being ready. I know you're about to jump into that other topic where servers aren't ready and they drop a game. And for us to be spending $70, that's why to me, Game Pass this generation makes so much sense. It makes just too much sense. But we can
No,
go
you're
straight
right. No,
into
we
that.
could definitely go into that. So what he was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is the Outriders launch, man. Like, I like Outriders. I like what they did because it's a full game. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect game or it's the best looking game. My buddy Ricardo, I hope he's watching right now because he's gonna laugh at this. Is that he goes, okay, if you're going through the environment, take your sniper and then zoom out to the outside. I'm like, what do you mean outside? He goes, the outside of the map. I was like, okay. And I zoom out, or zoom in rather, and I'm like, that looks like crap. Like, they didn't finish the outside environment really good, man. I was like, oh my God. But who's really
Like,
looking
really?
out there? Yeah, really. They have like the whole landscape's empty. There's like one little tree, like one little. I'm like, what are they doing? And come on, bro. And then the servers issues, man. Like, now the crossplay's not even enabled right now still. I'm like, oh my Lord. Ugh. And then we hear the inventory wipe glitch. You're farming this game for whatever amount of hours, and then all of a sudden you get on. Like, I'm gonna get on today, my boy, or a friend, whatever. I'm gonna get on and play. Then all of a sudden your inventory's wiped, and you paid $70 on PC or console, or not on. Let's say you didn't have a Game Pass. You just want to pay for it because you believed in it. Now your inventory's wiped, and all that gameplay is not for nothing. And that's why, and I hate to say this, I don't want to contradict myself or call me a hypocrite, but I bought the game because I like the game. I like what they're doing with it. It's like what you see, what you get. You got the full game, okay? Full game, but all the glitches, all the bullcrap, all the patches, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait until they're done with it. And that's on me. I bought the full game for $60 though, but still, they should have, this like my friend, there's no excuse because he's like, you know what? They already, like, they were promoting this game for so long. They should have knew with this demo. And I kind of agree with him. I like to play. The demo had no problems. It looked beautiful. It ran smooth. Crossplay was enabled. Everything worked. Maybe a lot of people didn't play it then. But he goes, you know what? They should have just put out a beta. And I agree with him. It should have been a beta where they were testing, right? Servers after server. Give free codes out. Go, guys, check this out. We need the servers. Crash the servers. We have to. Why didn't they do that? We understand they have a full game. It's not microtransactions. It's just full game inventory. You got loot, you got expeditions, you got world tiers. Dude, it's beautiful. But
it's like, listen, if you're gonna use me as a game tester, at least tell me.
Yeah.
At least tell me. Hey, look, you're testing out the game for us. Like xCloud, I talk trash about xCloud, but when you log into xCloud on your phone, it literally says beta. So you're using a beta form of this technology right now. You know what I mean? So they're literally letting you know, like, hey, we're not done yet, right? So if you're lagging, if it's not working right, we're letting you know. You know how much CD Projekt Red would have saved themselves so much headache if they would have done that. If they just would have sent out the game, would have told people like, yo, we need you guys to test this. You know, so much. Instead, they did the entire opposite. So with this game, though, Outriders, and then it's mostly an online game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, you can't even play it unless you're online. For servers to be down and for stuff to not be working just doesn't make sense to me.
Because I know
Doesn't make
it's
sense.
I know it's solo. You can play solo. I think you have to be connected to the server.
You still gotta be online.
Yeah, so it's like, what are they doing? Like, you can't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these developers. What are they thinking? What are they doing?
The whole with that, with people trying to own their games, and now these games are gonna be online. We'll see how many more games try to go this route.
And you know, it's not even like a upcoming publisher. It's Square Enix, which people can fly. So Final Fantasy, I mean, guys, you guys have like servers that have 100 people involved. I mean, let's be real. You're only having 3 people involved on a server. So it's like, can we fix this situation? Can we really dive deep and fix the problems here? Because I want to play Outriders, but I haven't played it. And I actually went on yesterday because I'm actually having a little trouble with my PC. We'll get into PC conversation in a little bit. Some games were like kind of stuttering. So I'm like, okay. So my friend's like, you know what? Download an Epic game, you know, because I uninstalled Outriders because I wanted them to fix it, and I had to do the update. I was like, all right, let me see what's going on. It came in clean, fine. It wasn't stuttering, so I'm like, okay, it's not Epic, but it's a different topic. But Outriders, what the hell are they doing? I finally got past the one mission, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna play this. I can't even hit crossplay. All my friends are on PlayStation and Xbox. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even doing this right now. I'm like, I'm not. You know what? You can play by yourself. That's me. I love co-op, having better experience with co-op with your friends and having a great time. That's me. Sometimes I played single player games, Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. I tried Sekiro. I think that was gorgeous, hard game, but it was fun. But yeah, so I think they need to fix these servers, man. And with the consoles, were they ready? I don't think they were ready. I think that they needed money, and and again, I want to go back what Harold said a little while ago about the the specification with the settings and all that. But listen, this is what I was saying. I'm going to go back to that situation. The hardware is built in we can have options to change this, tweak out the settings. That's why last generation it wasn't there. I'm not Xbox, PS4, Xbox One, One X maybe pushing it, but the Series X and the PS5 they can absolutely do 4K 60, 1080p, 120, even 160 or 40. I don't want to hear that. And then we can do low, medium, or high settings. Why can't we tweak it out? I know that, like you said, there's software built into that aspect, but they can do it. They just don't want to. Like you said, they're lazy.
The Master Chief Collection You can run it 4K 120. That's
That's
insane.
unbelievable.
4K
For a console?
120 for a console,
That's
yeah.
unbelievable.
And it looks beautiful.
That's why I
So
want
it's
the Series
like,
X.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. It's
Alright, so
crazy.
what are you thinking over there, man? You a little quiet. So what's up, man? You think so what are you thinking, man? PS5? You think they're slacking a lot, man?
Hey, I'm gonna run to the little boys' room real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the general, like, I like my PS5. Don't get me wrong, right? But I just haven't been using it that much. Like, honestly, I've used it for watching YouTube videos when I get ready for work, Netflix, Hulu, all the typical, like, multimedia, like, just streaming stuff in general. Not really any gaming. A lot of the gaming I've been doing is on my PC and on the Xbox Series S because of Game Pass. Um, but it's just PS5 is cool. I'm just waiting for more stuff to happen, more games to come out. And for Outriders, I mean, I played the Outriders demo for PC. Not really my type of game. It was cool. I didn't really have any issues playing the game either. I thought it was cool for what it is. But I was just like, do I want to spend, $60 on this game? Is it really worth it to me? Nah, not really. So I never bought it. But then it's gonna come out on Game Pass. It's just I've been playing other games instead. So I haven't really played it yet, but I did see a lot of the issues that they're having, and I think that's terrible. That people have to deal with it. Like you said, spending 100 hours in a game, grinding, and then gone. Your gear is not there anymore, and you're like, wait, what? Like, what is going on? So I don't know. Did they give the gear back? I hope they did. If that did happen to them, and
Imagine if they
then
can't though, because it's like, oh, we don't know what you had. I'm like, yo, you guys are bugging.
that's
Then I
that
want a
would be
refund right now.
yeah. People would probably just stop playing at that point. They'll probably stop playing the game. There might be a potential that they'll come back, right? Like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just make a new character. They fixed the bug. I really like the game. But if it's like if it's not that much, or if it's not worth it to that extent to have to do that, then yeah, people are just like, I'm done. I'm dropping it.
Yeah, but
This is
because
ridiculous.
the trust isn't there anymore. Like
Yep.
they got in, they're ready to play, they're having a good time. They farm for 2 weeks up to 100 hours, and all of a sudden
And
their
it's
inventory's wiped.
it's
I'm
just
like,
gone.
I would uninstall that game and never talk about it again. Like I
Yep.
would
I
just
would
move
do.
on. This, you know
I'd be
what?
over
Forget
it.
about it. And I'm going to be real. The first impressions are everything. It's like a job interview in life. Like if you can't bring all the top tier stuff, like the servers are fine, the patches are there. There's no problem with the inventory. Your looting is fine. Okay, give or take the server issues. We understand that. Okay, there might be some glitches where you can't connect or you can't. Okay, we'll get it out there. It's online. It's gonna happen. There's no doubt
Yep.
about it. So, but man, that's so unfortunate, man. It's like I'm not saying it's a bad game. We're not saying that. We're saying the developers need to step it up a little bit because I kind of gave them my hat off to them because they were always connecting and communicating with the community. It's not like they were in the dark or leaving us in the dark where they're not communicating. Like, oh crap, what do we do? Oh crap. They were like, I think they knew it was coming. Like, I don't know. It was so fast. They knew it was coming. They knew that they had issues and they knew they had to be addressed fast. But once they did, they almost fixed the issues where the inventory is kind of fixed. So hopefully nothing else happens because that's why I'm scared to play, man. Like, I want to play it, but I'm scared to play it. Like, because I don't want that to happen to me. Because if that happens to me, I'm not going to play it no more. I'll uninstall it and never talk about it. I'll just move
See,
on and play another
that's
game and
what's
just, I don't know.
That's what sucks is you shouldn't have to feel that way. You shouldn't have to
Yep.
worry about playing a game. You shouldn't. You're
Nope.
supposed to be playing the game. Why do you have to worry about some stupid stuff happening? And it's that's ridiculous. No one should have to feel worried about playing a game that they want to actually play.
Hey, ISO, tell them what you're worried about on the PS5, which is crazy, but it's actually a concern. Tell them.
Oh, so I hope we're talking about the same thing. The main thing I'm worried about the PS5 right now is the controller.
Yep.
So
Ooh.
because they've already said that there's gonna be stick drift and your controller can only last 400 hours, when I go and play games, right, I have my 2 controllers sitting there, the PS5 and the Xbox Series S, right? And by the way, the Xbox Series S controller looks way better. It looks way better than the PS5 controller. I see myself grabbing the Xbox controller more because I have that thing in the back of my head where it's like, that controller is not gonna last that long,
That
and
is
I'm worried
so
about it.
messed
It's
up. I
yeah,
can't.
like
What are they doing? What are they
yeah.
doing?
400 hours, that's it, and that's
What?
that's, like, not a lot of hours. I mean, like, my PS4 controllers, I still have the original one I got when I bought the God of War Pro. I still have that controller, and it works perfectly fine, no stick drift. I mean, the battery's fine for what it is, like, I'm not too worried about it, but, like, it's good. I'm not worried about it. But with the PS5 controller, I'm like, "You know what? I spent $500. This controller is like $70. Like if it's only gonna last like a certain amount of time, depending how much I use it, it makes me worried to use it. So I don't use it.
That's crazy. And you're absolutely right. The fact that you got to worry about that is ridiculous. The fact that you got to worry about playing a game is ridiculous. But the truth to all of this is that Outriders is the number 3 top selling game on both PS5 and Xbox. So they're not tripping. Money is what talks. So even though this game came out like this, they're not tripping. Even though if we knew that the PlayStation 5 didn't have any storage, people still bought it. Even though, well, I didn't know. I didn't know the Xbox Series X was missing tools. I would have made it go to Home Depot. But still, the people that did know still bought it. So,
Wait, no, with the PS5, didn't they say day one the storage thing was supposed to be there?
oh wait, did they say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
Oh,
when
they
people
straight up
buy,
lied.
yeah, I mean, if they said it was supposed to be there day one and it's
Mark
not there,
Cerny
yeah, they
said
lied.
that. Actually,
Or was it a generations thing? Because people are like, if we believe in generations.
no,
I
because
took it as
Mark Cerny said that you can store the PS5 games, you can't play them, which is understandable because the PS5 internal SSD, like the Xbox Series X, man, it's up there. So it's
levels.
it costs a lot of money with the 980 Pro. M.2 is like I don't even know, like 350 for like 1 or 2 terabyte. I'm like, oh my god, and even that I don't even think is on par with that. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, they said that on launch day you can store the game, but you can't play them. We're gonna give an update to unlock it. I'm like, okay, but even then, I think they forgot to unlock it for the storage on the external drives.
So now, this update came out like a few days ago, right?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
isn't it? Like it's been launched since November 12th. We just got it a few days ago. Like unreal.
I
Everybody,
already
that
know
was
what
the main issue.
I already know what all the apologists are gonna say. They're gonna be like, "Well, you could just delete a game, and you don't need to be storing all those games anyways." But it's not about needing to. It's about being told something and then not getting it. You know what I mean? That's that's the issue I have with all these companies. So they tell us something and then it's not what it is, and then they still take our money. You know?
Yep. And
Yep.
then there's the big word, options. There was no options. There's no options to do anything. And then what happened? What happened to this? I don't know how Xbox is, guys. I'm sorry, I don't have the console yet, but hopefully I get one. But what happened to the friggin' themes on the PlayStation? We can't even get our own
Oh,
personal themes on there.
I know. I was thinking about that too because I was like, I turned on my PlayStation to put on YouTube. I don't use it for gaming, so that's all I do on it. But so
Oof.
I
Ooh,
turned
I
it on.
so trying to create enemies. Okay,
Yeah, I
I
turned it
like it.
on. It's just for now until they put out games. But I turned it on. I was looking at it too. I was like, it'd be nice to put my own theme on that I want.
Yeah.
At least that I can choose.
Maybe your logo theme. Like, why can't I have that option? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, man. But he's right, man. PlayStation, dude. I'm a big PlayStation fan. I'm trying to be an Xbox fan where, like, I want to enjoy Xbox. Last generation, I really didn't enjoy it that much because I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. But this generation is something I'm going to be really enjoying. That's why I got the PC, if I can get Game Pass and play Xbox games. And since I couldn't get that Series X, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump on the PC. And it's just unfortunate, man. Like, because I love PlayStation and I don't understand, like, where's the games? There's no games.
Damn,
Wait,
bro, you
no,
being
we have
way
bug
too
snacks.
honest.
We got bug snacks though.
What's next?
We got
You
bug
gotta,
snacks though. Little sack boy, like you said. I just
Hey,
don't
boy.
understand, bro. Where is the games though? Where's
No,
Sony? Where the developer? Where's these games at, man? Like it's been almost a year. We're going on like by next fall. It's been a year. We're okay. We got Horizon. That's later.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's later. I think the newest one is Returnal, right? That's
Returnal,
about to come
okay.
out.
But I bet you that. Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. It looks okay. It looks good, but is it going to be good? You know what I mean? That's what I'm like. I don't even want to. You know what? It's like I want to buy the game, but it's like it looks weird. You're gonna wake up at different scenarios. That's kind of cool. That's an alien world. You don't know what's going on. So, but why? I bet you it's only like I bet you it's only like a 15, 20-hour game. Really short. I don't know why. I feel like it's really short.
So my whole thing is with all the panic on Sony is I keep telling people like just wait till the games come out. If the games are not good, then we got problems, right? Because at least with Game Pass, even though I'm playing old games, I can go ahead and try it, and if I don't like it, I just uninstall it, try another game, and I have a whole bunch of different games I can, right? If you drop the $60 or $70 that is Returnal or whatever, yeah, you could return it and probably get your money back, whatever. But that's a hassle, man. It's not the same.
I
And then
mean,
you're in the same spot. You're gonna go ahead and platinum Spider-Man again. How many times can you platinum a damn game? You know,
I didn't even
how
get
many times?
Spider-Man. I didn't
You know
even
what I'm
get the new one.
saying?
I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna, I'm like, I'm all right. I don't, I like the Marvel games. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't like them like that. Like they're okay, but I'm not gonna go out and buy them. You know what I mean? I'll probably play them for like a discount or free. I don't know. That's not my cup of tea. But Returnal looks okay, like I said, but I don't know how long is it gonna be. I have to do more research. I have to, because I know Horizon was great. It was a great game. I know Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. If they don't up the ante from this first one, man, they better not drop the ball. There's another situation I want to talk about, and I want to talk more about Xbox too. But what happened to Days Gone 2? And did you know? And I just read this last week. It could have been like a little longer too. Days Gone 2. That even for the first one, they were going to implement co-op into that game, and now they're just
Oh,
scratching it, like they're deading it. I'm like, oh man, that is so messed up.
I didn't hear about the co-op thing.
I didn't
Yeah,
hear about the co-op thing either.
they were they wanted to add the co-op feature in there. I'm like, oh my, and they were going to add it for number 2, but Sony said, nah, go work on the other one. Oh
so
my
so
god, I can't
so
believe that.
again, you have to I believe at least you got to give people credit based off what they did, and then if they fail after that, then you go from there. And the way I see it is, last generation, the PS4 generation, to me was like the best games I have ever played. Like the PS4 lineup was ridiculous. So I trust that Sony knows how to make games. So if Sony sees that a Days Gone 2 is not in their best interest, and they want to that company, or they want that developer to work on something else, I'm just trusting them based off what I've seen. Now, if that doesn't come to fruition, then we have to go ahead and hold them accountable.
Yep.
But for me, like when I saw them cancel Days Gone 2, I'm like, this is Sony, this is PlayStation. They know what they're doing. And then after that, like a lot of Sony fans brought it up too. I saw a lot of Sony YouTubers that would tweet like what the reviews were like for that game when it first came out. The game got destroyed. Afterwards, they said that it was good. But if a developer sees that or Sony sees that, like they got to go again where that money is. So even though Outriders came out and it has a whole bunch of problems, there's a whole bunch of money. So why wouldn't another game come out in that same situation, right?
Very
It
true.
just makes sense. You got to follow where the money is. But I trust, which is crazy because I'm an Xbox, but I trust that Sony knows what they're doing with games until they show me that they don't. So the difference is right now, like we're admitting that Sony doesn't have any games, which I give props to you, man, to be able to admit that, and to you too, ISO. Sony doesn't have any new games. Neither does Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't have any new games either. The
Yep.
difference is Game Pass. But when people try to compare Game Pass to PS Now, the difference is that those first day in and date games, that's what matters. That's what matters. That's what makes that difference. So I'm sure if you got a PS5 and you got PS Now and you can download PS4 games, I'm sure you can have a great time with PS Now. I'm sure you can. But there's a difference when that other service on the other side is having games like MLB The Show drop day one, Yakuza 6 drop day one, Medium drop day one,
Outriders.
Outriders drop day one. Right, exactly. So the new games dropping day one does matter. And that's why right now, which is so crazy, Microsoft is in the conversation even though they don't have any games. I admit it to you, they don't have any new games. So what's gonna happen, Chill, when Microsoft starts dropping games?
Sony's gonna be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's over. Exactly.
They better go in that corner and hide, And I trust Sony, man. Sony got some great games. I mean, Bloodborne. Oh my god, another reason that I'm so disappointed, man. I'm not mad at the studio. I get it. It's a frustrating thing to upgrade and develop updates and stuff like that and upscale stuff. But what the hell? And this may not be a big deal to anybody, but me in particular, I love Bloodborne. Where's the update? And they said, oh, we're not going to do that for the PS5. 1080p 60 frames, or even just 60 frames, 4K or 1080p. They said no. I'm like, yo, damn, man, you guys dropped the ball. And maybe, I don't know, they were like, oh, it doesn't work in 60 frames. I'm like, yo, we've seen it on YouTube. This guy had what do you have? A mod that made it 60 frames. It looked great in 60 frames. I'm like, yo, you telling me like a studio like you from software, you can't develop Bloodborne in 60 frames? I mean, you said it might go to PC. You're going to put it on PC for 30 frames? I don't think so, man. Come on. So, again, going back to what you said, Sony needs more games. Let's just be real. Like, I think that again, we're going back to that, is like, I think they should have waited. Like, yeah, we got one, but I still would have been okay with, waiting. Even though
Yeah.
I would have been okay at first, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta wait, man. But if they say, well, we're trying to develop more games and add more features where we can get the best gaming console out there, I'm like, you know what? If they're not ready, they're not ready. You know what I mean? That's just the end of the line. But going what you said about Xbox, again, that's why I got a PC and I want the Series X. Because like you said, you got the day one games. They add a lot more, what's that word? A lot
Value.
more quality games day one. PS Now, I think they need to stop streaming games. It doesn't work. I haven't tried it, and I don't want to be like, oh, it's been fine. But it ain't there. Stadia is way better than, with streaming games and console right now. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like it's not there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if Sony, we lost ISO.
Oh, we lost ISO.
Hold on, guys. Up there he is. He's coming back. He's back.
My bad.
It's all good. It happens. But yeah, so again, like, I can't wait to get my hands on a Series X and really, like, everyone's like, why you getting a Series X if you got a PC? But
I could talk about that.
Go ahead. Let's go.
All right. So it's funny because so I had a PC and I would tell Doc, like, Doc, there's no point. There is no point in me getting an Xbox. I told him this. I would tell him this multiple times because I was like, whatever games come out, like AAA or whatever the case is for Xbox, it's gonna go to PC. And I kept telling him, like, no, there's no point. I don't see any point in doing it. The best thing would be for Game Pass because the Game Pass for PC is totally different for Game Pass for console. There's a
Yep.
lot more available on the console side
Yep.
easily.
Yep.
So when I bought the Xbox Series S for my girl, it's funny because I sent Doc a picture and I was like, hey, should I get it? He's like, yes, get it. He's like, yeah, get it. I was like, okay, cool. So I got it, gave it to my girl. Of course, I'm gonna use it. That's facts. It's not only for her; it's for me too.
Right.
So I got the Series S. I was pretty impressed overall with the console, and after using it, I am very happy with having an Xbox console. And I even told Doc this is like if I plan on getting the Xbox Series X for myself, for me, even with the high-end gaming PC, I have a PS5. I already have the S, but the S again is for my girl. And if I wanted to buy another one, I would buy the X only because I would like the option to have a disk drive. That's the main reason. If I didn't care about that, I would get the S again. But it's pretty good. I think it's awesome for what it is. It's played really well. I had zero issues with it. I've had issues with my PS5. I've had almost like zero issues with the Xbox Series S, and I'm very impressed. And I think I would highly recommend this console to anybody, depending on what their preference is with gaming.
So let me ask you and Chill a question. You both got good PCs, right? Chill got a great PC, right? Why would you want to get a Xbox? Like ISO, what makes you play your Xbox when you have a high end PC? And then Chill, what makes you think you would play your Xbox versus your PC?
Well, just like you guys said, there's probably more games on Game Pass on console than there is for PC. Because
Okay, that's some good
because I
explain.
had the Xbox One X 2018. I tried it out for a few months and I sold it to my friend who actually wanted the One X. He couldn't find one. I don't know why they were sold out around his area. I mean, you can order online, but I just said I was going to sell it to him for like 300. I bought it for like what 500 plus some games. It's 300. You can have it. So when I played it, I had played State of Decay with my boy. I liked it. You know what I mean? And just like you said, there's more options on console with the Game Pass than there is on PC. Because right now, like, I try to download a game from my old account. It says download to your console. I'm like, oh no, I can't play this game, but it's on console. So just like, I don't know how Rise of the Son of Rome is for anybody, but I liked it. I played it a little bit. I kind of got into it, so I can't play it on my PC. I don't know why.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why. And then plus, I'm like one of those guys who like just wants to get the tech because it's there, or the gear because it's new, or just to have it. Like, I got one. It's right here. Don't worry about it. I got you. It's right there.
Where would you connect it? Would you connect it to one of the monitors, or would you connect it to your TV?
Probably the monitor.
Okay. So you got yours on your TV, right?
Yes, so I have mine connected to my TV, and it feels nice. Like, I don't mind gaming on my computer. I'm used to it. Sitting in a chair, it doesn't bother me. But having the option to sit on the couch, be lazy, chill, like, it's awesome to have, and that's what I've been doing. We've been playing It Takes Two. just chilling, relaxing. I could just like literally like lay down, whatever the case is, play the game, enjoy it. And then playing 2K21 again, just chilling. It's just having the option to do it without having to sit at my desk. You know, it's there, so I enjoy it. I like it, and I definitely think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's true. I
Options. It's the same thing we keep
Yep.
saying all night. It's options, options, options. We want options.
And I only paid $300 for a next gen console.
How
That's
is
it.
that though with the S1? I mean the 1S. I mean the Series S actually. So many different things with Xbox. Xbox
Yeah.
Series S. How is it with 1080p though?
I mean, I think it looks fine. Like surprisingly, so my PS5 is loud. The
Really
Xbox Series
loud.
S is not loud. My PS5 gets pretty loud, and I hate it.
That
Wow.
might be a faulty thing though with yours.
Man,
That's
Well,
most
mine's
people
just
say
sitting
that.
there literally collecting dust. I gotta clean it out like once a week, and I turn it on a few times, a couple times a day, or a week rather, and it's kind of quiet.
I think I've seen videos where like there's this like little piece inside, and it hits the fan, so it sounds louder than what it's supposed to be.
Are you
So
putting a
I
disc in,
haven't.
like a disc?
No,
No. Oh wow.
no. I mean, there's a disc in it already, Demon Souls, but I'm not playing the disc. Like I'm just starting it up. It's going
Oh.
to the homepage. It'll be kind of loud, but then it quiets down. But then randomly it'll kind of go loud again.
Oh wow.
Like, oh, like, hey, you need to give me attention. That's how I see it. And I'm like, I'm on the console. What else do I have to do to you? I'm just watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, why are
Yeah.
you being
Why?
loud,
Yeah.
bro?
Why is the fan blown like that if you're just watching YouTube or Netflix or something? That's
Too
crazy.
much.
Exactly.
That
But
shouldn't.
the
Yeah.
Series S, not loud. Barely hear it. Barely hear it at all. The size is dope. Really the biggest thing is if someone were to ask me like, hey, which one do you think I should get? The Xbox Series X or S? One of the main questions I'm gonna ask you is do you want physical games?
I
Or do
don't.
you want
Depending
future proof too?
that too, yeah. But if
That,
you, it depends. There's multiple questions because there's a budget and then there's like, okay, what are you looking out of it, right? Like, are you all about the best of the best,
yeah.
or
I can
do
say
you
right
just
now. Yeah.
want like, or do you just want a next gen console and you're balling on a budget, right? Kind of like Doc, budget gamer, even though he spent $500 on a console. It's kind of like what are you looking to get out of it? So like that's why for me having PC, like the Xbox Series S is perfect. My girl, she's not all about I want the highest frames, I want the highest resolution. She don't care about that, you know. So
Does it look good and does it run smooth?
yes, it looks good. It does run smooth. Now,
Yeah.
from what I notice, because I play on PC, there's every now and then a weird, like small, like kind of stutter, like a frame drop. But I notice it because I know better. She doesn't
Right.
notice nothing,
Right.
so that's why it works out perfectly. But it goes away like that. It only happened when it was doing like a transition from the cutscene into the game. But as soon as that transition was like literally done, no issues.
Okay.
I could tell you for me, like ISO messed me up, man. So chill, the first gaming laptop that I bought had a 1050 Ti in it, and it had a 60 hertz display panel on it, right? And I brought it up to work, and I told my dude I was like, "Yo, I got a gaming laptop," and he went up there with his whole, master race aura and everything, and he looked at my gaming laptop, and I think we're playing Far Cry 3, right? And he was like, "Oh my god, this looks horrible." Now, to me, playing Far Cry 3 on a 1050 Ti on a gaming PC compared to playing it on the PS3, I was blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it how good it looked, right? But to him, he was like, "Oh my god, this looks horrible," because he was already on that 144 hertz monitor stuff, right? I went ahead and I got myself this is an Acer Predator Helios 300, which has a 144 hertz monitor. Once I experienced frame rates above 60, that messed me up. So just like he said, when you're used to experiencing something, it's gonna be hard. So it'll be hard for me to play from my PC to play from my Xbox Series X and then play from that to go to Xbox Series S. I'm sure I could do it, but I'll be able to notice stuff the same way that he can. So it comes down to what does that person really value? What does that person really want? And if they don't know any better, then I'm sure the S is perfect for everybody. Like I had to make a rebuttal video to myself about freaking the Series S playing Resident Evil at 1440p, 45 frames per second, which is like who chooses 45 frames per second? Like who chooses that?
That is a
You
little
know?
odd, like the 45 frames per second.
Yeah,
Why chooses that? But
that is better than 30 though.
Yeah, it's a little
is
smoother
it
than
though?
30. Yeah, it is a
Well,
little bit.
see,
Yeah.
another thing too that I talked with Doc is if you don't know, you don't know. So if you
Yeah.
don't know what 144 hertz, 120 hertz looks like, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, these new consoles are amazing," because you're used to playing at 30
Yeah.
FPS. And then you go to new consoles, you're like, "Oh yeah, it feels more fluid, it plays better," which is true, but that's because you only know what you know. You only experience what you've known before or have the experiences prior. Vice other people like myself, you guys now dock to 144 hertz. You can't go back. 30 FPS,
My
that's
yo,
disgusting.
my Frank will agree with you 100,000% that once you see these higher frames, it's hard to go back, even to 60 at some points. Like Call of Duty, Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be 60 or higher, so you're kind of used to the fast pace. But if you're playing like Valhalla and 30 FPS from PS4, PS5 and 60, but then you go to PC 140, 160, 200. It's hard to go back. That's why honestly my PS5 is sitting there and I'm just waiting for exclusive that's only on PS5. Or if I get this Xbox Series X, it's only exclusives for that. And maybe it's on Game Pass, maybe it's not, but that's what I mean. Like I'm just all into the higher frames and reses. Like 1080p is fine with me right now. I want to go to 1440p.
Ooh, 1440p is a great bit.
Yeah, it's a great. It's there. That's where it needs to be. That's the sweet spot for this card that I read up on. That it's the great for 1440p. A little higher than that, it's like it's not going to do its justice. I think 3070 is great for 1440p. 1080p is a little bit overkill. You know what I mean? Like I can get like. I was just I was just wanting to test this out. I had the frame cap off. I hit the frame rate at 1,000 frames.
Holy shit.
And I was like, wow, why the hell is it going so high? What is going on? I was like, my thing's going to blow up. It was like, I was like, yo, there's no way this car can do that in this game. And it was in Cold War multiplayer. Like, it was just getting there. It was just on the screen, but it was going high. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was like, my thing's going to blow up. But then I put
how some of these games could do that, some games can't. So like Cold War on Xbox, I believe runs at 122. So it's like,
and the CSGO, man, I was like, you know what? I just want to try it out. I'm not going to play it, but I can get almost like 400 frames on this card. 1080p Ultra.
Easily.
Yeah, I'm
easily
like, wow,
on CSGO.
Yo.
Yep.
So again, answer you guys' question. Like, I want the best of the best. I want the reason why I said Series S is because I just want to get a console, And my buddy, who's an Xbox fanatic, he's like, I want that Series X. He goes, I am not buying that Series S, no matter how much I want the next console, next generation. He's like, I'm waiting for that Series X. I'm just gonna keep trying. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be available, but keep trying.
Oh yeah,
there's hope.
With the S.
There's hope
with the S, because I was actually trying to get her the X before, but then I was just on Target like randomly, right? Like, because I bought my PS5 from Target too. I wasn't even planning to get the PS5 either, and I ended up getting it. It was hilarious. But with the Xbox Series S, I was just on Target randomly. I was at work. I was like, let me. Nope, the X isn't there. Well, let me see if the S is there. And I saw it, and it's like a bunch of Targets near me had the Xbox Series S available easily.
That was funny. 2 weeks ago, I had the same thing. Target was available. I'm like, do I hit the button? Do I hit the button? I don't know. I can't do it. I want the Series X.
Yeah, like I said, since it was for my girl, I was like, oh, perfect. Like, easy buy. And I even asked Doc, I was like, should I do it? He's like, yeah, do it. And then I got it and then picked it up the same day.
But you see, the reason I recommended for you to get it is because I knew that you had a powerful PC, right? So I knew that. Yeah, so I knew that you wouldn't be really missing out on anything. If anything, a S is like a perfect companion to someone that has a powerful PC. The questions I would ask both you gentlemen would be this. If a game that you really want drops day one on Game Pass, but you really want this game, do you still buy it on PC?
Depends on the type of game.
Yeah, I agree. Depends what kind of game. And if it's a longevity of playing. If it's going to be a single player game done in 30 hours, I probably wouldn't buy it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Damn, that's a good point.
If it's like Outriders, something like that looks crazy, everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, I'll definitely buy it day one.
God, that makes sense. So like a game like Destiny, if it was great, but you would go ahead and buy it. Okay, that makes sense.
Because the long play style is just I'm gonna keep grinding, play it. Like was it Days Gone? It's a one and done. Why would I pay? I'll just wait for it. But yeah,
like
man.
Example. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no. So like, let's just say right now they've dropped Resident Evil Village on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would buy it for PC. I wouldn't care if it's on Game Pass.
Why?
Because
that's a one and done game.
It doesn't matter. It's the type of game it is. It's a shooter. I can't play shooters on console. I'm just really bad at it.
Really?
Oh, you want to play with the mouse and keyboard?
Yes, but that's also a game I want to support. I love the Resident Evil franchise, so I'm gonna buy the game for PC.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Even though it's on Game Pass day one, I'm like, that's awesome for people who can't go out and buy it or who don't have a PC, right? Or who doesn't really have choices. That's great for them. But me, I'm gonna buy it for PC.
Mm.
It's the options, man.
Yep,
Better,
it's the
you know,
options.
better frame rate and resolutions.
Yep, I'm gonna play the game at the best possible quality that I can actually play it at.
Yep. That's basically all we can do, man.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Okay, that makes sense. That freaking makes sense.
There's layers to this, Doc. Come on, you know this.
Levels, disrespectful,
All right.
disrespectful.
So every time I do a podcast, guys, I like to end it with a final thought. So, Doc, I'm gonna start with you. What's your final thought on the pod today?
All right, so what I got out of this podcast is the concept of two things: options, right? As gamers, we want options, and the more options you have, we're winning. Everyone locked into one ecosystem or locked into one mentality. I don't understand that. That only benefits the company, doesn't benefit the gamer. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that seemed to really stand out about this podcast is almost like we like the abuse. We allow these companies to do what they want to do because we still buy their products. You know what I mean? We still buy their products. If this headset, for instance, if this headset didn't work and they told me like after I bought it that I had to wait 2 months for an update for it to sound great, I wouldn't buy this headset. I would probably send it back. Yet everything else when it comes to gaming, we accept it. And I wonder why. Have we gotten used to the mediocrity? I guess so. I don't know. So options and then the abuse. We're getting used to it, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's very true. ISO, what's your final thought, buddy?
Uh, I would say the biggest thing is pretty much the new consoles are slacking. We need more. They can do more. We know this, but it's just a slow start, you know. And some things that are supposed to be there aren't there. So of course they're trying to make those fixes with updates and kind of like Doc mentioned too, like just having the options as a gamer is very nice. And it was a really great podcast. I appreciated being here.
Yeah, no doubt, guys. Much love to you guys. My final thoughts of this, man, is that they need to pick it up with the slack with the updates. Enough with the server issues. Get your stuff together, because you never know. Just like Outriders, man, they have a good like selling point. They sold a lot of games, but the trust, is it still there? I don't know. I think to me, I'm just gonna wait. PC gaming is there, man. That's why I bought my first ever gaming PC, man. I'm ready to get involved. I'm ready to get in there. I can't wait for the Series X and PS5 consoles to be more available for everybody out there. It kind of sucks that everybody still has to wait, man. It's like and I know for the COVID-19 pandemic that they have to be safe. They don't want to ship them like 100 consoles to every Walmart and people bum rushing everybody. I get that. I understand that, but there's got to be another option, man. These scalpers are ruining it, everybody, man. Even with the new 3000 series card, the PS5 Series X is like they need to adjust something. I don't know. Days Gone 2 should have been an idea, but is it worth it? I don't know. But the co-op would have been a very much better experience, in my opinion. The Last of Us remake possibilities. Do we need it? I don't know. I think it could be a money grab. It could be looking phenomenal, but it already got remastered. We already had number 2, so I don't know. Resident Evil 2, going back to that, let's talk about that real quick. The remake for that was awesome, even though that was 20 odd years in the making. Like, different kind of separation there. So do we need a remake for Last of Us 1? No, like this came out 7-8 years ago. I think we can wait another 5 years for that. But yeah, I just really want to appreciate Dark 1985 and ISO Motion Gamer for coming on the pod today, guys. Again, check out their YouTube. They post content every day. I like them. You should like them too. Go follow them. Go sub to them. Show them some love, because they showed me love today. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on, man. This is much love. And as always, stay chill and happy gaming. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.